Welcome all as we congregate to the greatest toy line in community, ever growing, ever changing. As we collect and adapt these figures to our own imaginations and embrace the fun, there's much to learn, especially if you're new to Mythics. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of New to Mythics, episode 69 with this guy right here, Kris Faraone. Welcome, sir.
How are you? Man, yo, that intro, I feel like you got the B-side of a Diggable Planets hidden beat. I really like that, man.
I'm cool that.
Man.
Cool like that. Yeah, I love it.
That takes me back. I love that intro, man. You got to get someone to rap over that.
Oh, now you're talking. That's a good idea.
Got to. Just some kind of real laid back, slow cadence.
Yeah, rap. That's my favorite. I love that, man. How are you doing, man? How's it going?
Good. Everything is good, man. Back at the farm after a few weeks off. We working hard. What we got? 2 months and some change. The Legions, boy, that LEGIONSCON pressure.
I'm feeling it, man.
Yeah, the walls is it's getting tight up here in the Pharaoh's Forge, man. It's tight in the Forge right now.
I can't imagine, dude. I've got pressure, wallet pressure, logistics pressure, making sure that my girlfriend is on board and she's ready. And, but people that have, businesses or they've got tables, they've got, all of that stuff. That's a whole different kind of pressure, man.
I'll tell you, first of all, it starts with great support and, big props to my wife, Leslie. She 100% supports me. There's not ever a question on, I want to try this. I want to do this. I think this would be cool. I want to expand this, whatever I'm doing, whatever hobby it's been. She's been all in with me for the whole, we've been together 16 or 17 years.
You need that.
She's been riding. She's for sure. She's my best friend. She's the best support system anyone could ever have. So I don't think she watches these when I do them, but if she does, really, really, really blessed to have a great life partner.
Shout out to Leslie.
And yeah, the pressure's on, man. It's weird. Last year there was no pressure. I was done creating so early. I was done so early, 3 months early. I started making signs for people's tables for fun. And this year, not so much.
How do you know when to stop though? How do you know when it's you know what? I've got enough.
So for me, it's easier, I think, than other people. I'm in Washington State, right? So I'm limited by luggage space and shipping costs, right? So shipping from here, what I do is I ship from here all the way to my brother in upstate New York, where I grew up, up in Schenectady. And you can only tolerate so much shipping costs before you're man, because here every year for the con, it's as a vendor, I'm confident in what I make, but you don't know,
right?
You don't know if you're gonna whiff, right? You don't know if it's gonna be a bad year. So every year I have a strategy, right? I have a bunch of old hobbies that I've gotten out of over the years, right? And what I do is I do a good job of selling off those hobbies strategically right before LEGIONSCON. So right now, if any of your viewers have ever heard of a game called HeroClix, it's old.
Yeah. I remember those.
So I was in that game. I was in so deep. I used to own a store that sold and only played in California.
Yeah.
So I got a 20-year collection, and one day we're in the garage and we're looking at how we're going to expand the growing print farm. And I'm like, man, I need to sell this stuff. Cool thing with HeroClix is a collectible game, right? Not to get off topic or anything, right? But there are pieces that are randomly $200. And they started unretiring stuff. So I was going through, tried to sell the collection of one vault to a guy, and he for $2,200. He was like, no, too much stuff. That guy's bought almost 2,000 from me since then, and I'm a 10th. So I've just been selling it to local people that play that I know, and on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm down to the last 20%, and that's going to fund LEGIONSCON for this whole year. That and get rid of the GI Joes. That's funding LEGIONSCON. So even if the table sells 0 things, I will still be able to buy some stuff for myself, which is that's the main reason to go. Is
that's what matters, you
I
know.
want to buy stuff, right? Like I
I
want to. That's why for me, like year one was the best year. Like it was for me, year one was La Quinta, and they had Alithia there. That wave, that was the first man.
crazy.
I spent every dollar I made at the horseman's table, plus whatever I brought. Right.
I'll think back. I'm like, I had my whole paycheck. What did I get? What did I buy?
I bought 25 Valaks plus a bunch of other stuff. Love that figure. I'm a parts guy.
You bought it because of like customs or just because you love the figure? Or?
Customs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I've heard that.
I'm a weird Mythics collector, right? I collect to make other stuff, right? Like to make things that are in my brain. Mm-hmm. That's the main that's my main collecting reason.
He's a good foundation. He's a good starter, like a Dubon, like a Xylernian.
Yeah. To me, he is the best Mythic Legions parts figure ever created. Mm-hmm. To me, personally, that's my personal opinion. The only thing hard to use is you got to pry the head out to use the hood. Mm-hmm. But the rest of him is like, I mean, he's a dude in all black. Like,
right.
Can't
Plus, it doesn't hurt too that he's not super overpriced.
That too. Even new people can come in, snag one for $60. I've seen him $65. You know, because he's at the beginning of like the price wall where stuff didn't get crazy, right? Because it was produced in high enough quantity.
Right.
So, you know, that's even for newer people. But I keep a stack of them because the cloth arms and legs to me were like even more than the new night parts and everything. To me, that was a revolution. I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. We can make cloth-based characters, and you know, I still have a soft spot in my heart for him.
I really love the cloth arms and legs. I think they're great. In fact, I was talking to Jeremy at because like right before on the armory, you know, there was all kinds of talk about the armor pieces and what am I going to build? This is before, so at Intern, I said, because they said, we're only going to sell these armory here at LEGIONSCON, but we're not going to sell the cloth pieces in the box sets or the retail.
Yeah.
Like, why? That just seems so like, I'm like, is there a reason? Like, they won't make that many, or is there some kind of, and he's like, no, we just figured you guys had enough. You didn't want more of the, and I'm like, dude, like that's not, so that created more of a, so like during armory, people were buying up the cloth arms and legs because, we had green, you got red, you got brown, you got, all kinds of cool different colors. And so those were gone. So I think that kind of surprised them that those went.
I pray every year they just release a figure with white cloth arms and legs. I just want it once. So the knees will match.
Faraone.
Dude, just so the knees will match.
That's the Faraone figure.
So I don't got to sand the knees. Because like, here's the thing. I have a couple customs like that are, I painted the cloth legs white, right? And then I like sanded them, make sure the joints don't really rub, which I hate doing, by the way. I just absolutely despise it. And I have a tool that does it. I still hate it. But
I still hate it.
Like, I still hate it. It's just such. Ugh. But like when you do white really well, it just works for so many types of characters, and there's so much color you can post against it. You can do like really dark skinned characters look amazing with white pants, right? Or you've got, you can put like with gold armor, that golden white look is just so you
like
can do
so
much. So much fly stuff can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for a stock. That's what last year with Armory, I was like, are they going to do white? Then in this year, it's going to be the same thing. I know we're probably not getting cloth the second year in a row, but who knows? But like, I'm like, man, if you could just drop some white cloth, like I'm good for 10.
Kris is over here waiting. Like, come on, white. Come on.
Good for 10. Right? So, because it's what we're missing, right? It's what we're missing. Yeah, one here. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I have faith if I just keep saying it enough.
Yes. Will it into existence.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love, because I'm not a customizer at all, but I appreciate you guys. And it's funny because, like, I'll get excited for the figure, but you guys get excited for the new knee that comes with, that was on the paladin, the armored knee that connects to the new cavalier boot. Like, I'm like, I didn't even notice that. Like, you guys, you know, made me aware that that's a new part. You know, they're like, oh, we got new this, or we've got new that. That's, I'm like, I have no idea. Like,
I'm
but
a parts junk. At some point tonight, if you remind me, we'll flip the thing around and I'll show you like my part storage and how insane it is. Like it's
for
pretty,
sure.
like it's pretty crazy. I
Well,
love it.
I
I love
know
it.
I'm thankfully I'm in a chat with you and Patrick Boyle and House
Yeah.
Seal. Even though I don't belong there, I'm grateful to be
Why
there.
not?
But you guys, it makes me laugh because you guys know like your dwarf parts and all the different parts and stuff. And I'm just like you guys blowing my mind.
Yeah, PB is like a, I mean, I know the parts pretty well, right? The Cosmic, not so much, but Mythics, I'm pretty good. Patrick, I was talking to Patrick one day and I was like, oh man, I got so much learning to do. Like, he's just like, I'm like here, and he's like, I'm looking up at him. I'm like, okay, sensei, my bad,
Right.
dog. Like, damn. And he
Yeah.
knows the lore too, which is cool because I'm not, I love the lore, but because I am so in it for creating my own stuff,
Right.
I got to read the lore 5 or 6 times for it to remember.
I'm the
You know,
same
like I know
way.
I know the overarching thing, right? But
Right.
like remembering why so and so doesn't like so and so, or you know, that stuff
Some
is
people
not.
go deep.
And I love it.
Some
And
people, it's like
what
Middle Earth. Like they know that stuff. Like they,
once that book, I think once the book comes out,
yeah.
right? Especially, listen, if the studio's listening, you get a chance to do that on Audible. Just hire Victor Bavine to narrate that book. He's the guy that does the Dritz books.
Okay.
That guy will hook it up.
Yeah.
Your dwarves will have the right brogue.
He's got that good tone.
He's got good tone. He's used
Yeah.
to doing different accents.
Yeah.
Got to pick the right narrator for your audiobook. But man, if
I've,
they do that, they do a good
yeah.
Audible.
I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Like I'm listening to The Dark Tower, which is Stephen King.
Yeah.
And the dude that they have, like he was doing some Longmire books but this guy is so good.
Yeah.
Like he could do multiple voices and just boom, 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 like a conversation. And he's switching back and forth. And it's like I'm listening to 5 different people. I'm like,
you ever do the full ensemble cast books?
No, I've never done that.
But you listen to fantasy books, right? You're
yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
So download the First Empire off Audible.
Okay.
It's called Tales of the First Empire. I'll link it to you. So a company called Graphic Audio, they do full ensemble casts. And I wasn't into it. And then I finally found one I liked. And now I'm super into it. I'm like, oh, this is really good. They have like 6 or 10 voice actors. So
Okay.
it's not like when it's one person and they're really good, it's awesome, right? But these are distinct and they go to other countries and get people. So like people got the right accent. It's pretty sick. So and I'm like a D&D guy, right? So for years I wouldn't listen to anything outside of if D&D didn't make it, I'm out.
Right.
Like, you know, Dragonlance,
Realms,
I'm in. Other stuff.
You got the blinders.
But now I'm expanding a little bit. My wife even talked me to listen to some of that romanticy stuff, which I still think is, you know, I'm like, ooh, I got to fast forward through some of this stuff. But a couple of the things she listens to, like, and that's the new wave, right? That's the new, like the new stuff, right? Romanticy is that new genre,
right?
That really is picking up. You look at how the books, you know, these authors are selling, and you're like, man, like 10 million, 5 million, like.
So there's an audience.
Yeah, when's someone going to pick up some? Well, like, when are we going to start seeing some action figures from these? Like, that's the one thing I've always thought was weird, is that outside of Lord of the Rings, right, and a little bit from Hasbro, but we know Hasbro could screw up. They could take $1 million and burn it and just not even know, right? You don't see that.
No.
Like, you're not. I mean, there's a little bit going on. I know, you know, I think that Harbinger Studios is doing something with like a dude from Elric from the '60s, right? Which is cool, and Conan and stuff. But like,
yeah, I'm an Elric. Elric was my guy, but I'm like, it's obscure. Like a lot of people have never heard of Elric before,
which is dope, right? But like, you've got all this modern fantasy, and I'm like, so I don't know if you do any RPG. You follow the RPG community at all?
A little bit.
So the Daggerheart books, right, from Critical Role, was watching an interview, and what they got queued up, they're gonna do these modules based on like modern fantasy settings, and I'm like, man, you guys kind of got your pulse on what's going on, and,
right?
You know, not my preferred. I'm definitely like high adventure fantasy, right? Like I want Dragonlance all day, every day.
Right.
I think with the, you know, the younger folks and you got a whole audience of listeners and
Right.
fans,
Right.
my wife would kill for a tower of glass.
Mm-hmm.
Like I made her like Thrace. Kind of looks
Right.
like the way they describe one of the figures in those books.
Right.
So like she was like, "How much for a custom?" And I'm like, "Well, we're married, so free." But so she went and bought extra Thraces so I could make her a custom of one of the characters.
Yeah. Nice.
So,
yeah, I love that. And I think that talking about pulse, hand on the pulse, I think Four Horsemen have their hand on the pulse when it comes to making all the different fantasy creations.
Absolutely.
Like anything
they got the
think
archetypes.
of.
Like I don't think anyone, so I've said this a couple times before, Eric Treadaway doesn't get the respect he deserves for his contributions to modern fantasy.
Right.
Like if you look at the eras, you had the real OGs like Tolkien, and you had why is his name escaping me?
Martin,
the guy who drew Conan.
Oh, not Joe Jusko.
Oh God, I'm your comment section is about to light me up. Frazetta, there we go.
Oh, Frazetta. I'm
old
sorry.
Old man brain.
The painter.
Old man brain.
Yeah, that's all right.
Pre dementia situation going on, right?
Me too.
Frazetta, Tolkien, right? Yeah. You've got all the OGs, right? The people that laid the groundwork for everything we have, right? And then you hit the TSR era, Weiss and Hickman. You've got all the people that were drawing those amazing covers, right?
I love those covers.
Also escaping me, and I'm huge, and I have all their artwork, right? But you've got all those folks, right?
Yeah.
And then you got this, this new era that we're in, and like, but Eric kind of falls to me into that because he took all that stuff from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and he made action figures.
Right.
Right. And it's like their orc. When I saw their orc, I'm like, that's an orc. That's like the literally when I see orc,
with the tusks, and
the square jaw. Yeah. And like when I think goblin, oh my God, those are goblins. Exactly what I think about when I see a goblin, right?
Yeah. Thwick, perfect goblin.
Like that is what I think is his superpower. And I tell people, like, listen, if he's not in your top 10 of contributors, like if he's not knocking on that, if he's not in your top 10 contributors for modern fantasy, I don't know what you're doing, what you're reading, what you're into, but he's got to be that guy. And he's like one of one.
Right. Absolutely.
That's we're at 10 plus years for Mythic Legions for an independent, creator owned IP based property to last that long.
And he's still he's just spurting ideas. Just we're getting ready for the next big wave at G-Con.
Right.
Like, we're like,
yeah, like
we're gonna eat it up. We're gonna eat it up.
In the studio, the studio obviously deserves a lot of credit as a whole team.
Yes, of course.
But I think just, when I boil it down to one person, I'm like, man, like Treadaway's got to be in your Salvatore. Like he's got to be in that, he's got to be in that conversation for who's contributed so much.
More people need to know about Treadaway for sure.
Yep. Like for sure. Like he's the mastermind, right? So
yeah, I'm with you. Well, let's go back. Let's start back to when you were a young Kris running the streets, figure in your pocket, going to your friend's house, playing with toys and stuff. What was the stuff that I don't know how old you are, but what was the stuff that you were into?
So I just turned 47.
Okay. So you're in my neighborhood.
Right. I had a lot of toys as a kid, right? Here and there, but I think for me, G.I. Joe's the one that stuck as like the main driver of, like I dabble in other stuff. Like I think I was just talking the other day. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot I had the Rambo toys, right?
Rambo,
they had cool play sets.
Awesome. Yeah,
cool. I used to buy stuff at garage sales from like older kids and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But G.I. Joe is the thing I always came back to, and even as a little, I think 7, 8 years old, I was taking a screwdriver, taking them apart, swapping the chest.
I did that too.
I had
a box of parts.
I was popping, swapping before we, back then with the little rubber band, you shimmy it on. So like that was my main backyard in the dirt creating. And even back then, I would take bricks and I'd create fortresses. Right? We couldn't afford to buy me play sets, which a lot of kids couldn't back then. Right?
Yeah.
I just go make my own stuff.
Make your own stuff, dude.
And lose so many figures in backyards.
And your imagination, imagination filled in the blanks.
Yeah, man. So like toy wise, GI Joe sticks out the most. I think I did all the other things, right? I had some He-Man for sure. I had some, Thundercats for sure. I think I even may have had a Ninja Turtle like right before I got probably a little too old for toys.
Right.
But even when I got too old for toys, the multiple times I've collected as an adult, it's always been GI Joe. Until Mythic Legions, it was always GI Joe or like a comic-based property that sucked me back in.
What do you think it was about GI Joe that made you like? Was it like watching the cartoon? Was it commercials? Was it your friends?
Honestly, I think the vehicles were like, I like fiddling with stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think even today, and Hasbro deserves credit for one thing, their modern vehicles are really good. They do a good job.
They do.
Right. For all their faults, the vehicles have always been at the heart of that thing, and no one has ever done like that accessory type as well as Hasbro did with G.I. Joe. I mean, it's ever been replicated.
I mean, look at 84, 85. They had
oh my God.
the detail. Like they had the helmet you could put on. You had a visor that would come off. You had all these accessories, guns.
Yep.
Look at Zartan.
Yep.
Where his, the color changing. Like,
hell yeah.
Dude, they were on a roll with
they were so in their bag, and like you compare it to the other toy lines, like He-Man had a cool story and some cool play sets, but that was $1 in a cloud of dust.
Right.
If you look at Hasbro like 84 to 87, it was not $1 in a cloud of dust.
Boom, 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 boom.
It was like,
and it kept getting bigger. It got bigger.
New plastic,
bigger vehicles.
Right. Crazier vehicle. Like, man. And then like for me, as an adult, as a kid, I didn't like Cobra. And as I got older, I'm like, man, Cobra Commander was a G. It was like that dude was at the market buying bootleg schematics of stuff that definitely wouldn't work, but then mass producing it. Like one of my favorite vehicles of all time is the Fang.
Yeah.
Most impractical thing in the world, right? A little thing. I love the Fang. I think the Fang is like, it's like he went to Amazon or AliExpress.
Right. Yeah. What can I make here? I'm gonna throw some missiles on there.
Dude, it was cool, man. Like it's just so cool how that how that worked, right? So G.I. Joe for sure.
And it was really something that was for us.
Right.
I mean, I've talked before about how we were manipulated by the cartoons.
Absolutely.
And the commercials and the comic books and all that. But they really turned us on and showed us like how freaking cool the toys could be.
Oh,
the articulation, and they worked on like coming soon, swiveling arms.
Yeah.
And they fixed the thumb issue, and they you know what I mean, like they were improving over time and giving us more. They're giving us amazing figures, and
good.
It was a great time.
Yeah, 84 to I think 88, they were in their bag. And I would say I know He-Man had a historic rise. And I think a lot of that was based on there was no other swords and sorcery stuff that really caught on. And, Castle Grayskull was dope. Snake Mountain was dope.
Yeah.
Cartoon, I've rewatched that cartoon. Not dope. I don't know if I wouldn't.
It's been a while.
Like,
it's been a while.
I can watch G.I. Joe and be like, I see what I like. I rewatch He-Man. I'm like, woo.
I see. I've worked overnights, and I'll have that YouTube with the G.I. Joe, and I'm entertained. Like I'm not like, I'm not analyzing like,
for sure.
I just turn off my brain and I'm a kid again. But I love those cartoons, man. They were.
And what was cool about He-Man was it definitely was they created it and got a toy line out of it. Where like G.I. Joe had an establishment. So I don't want any of your fans that like love He-Man. I just comparing the two for me was like I asked Transformers, right? Even Transformers, like I think Transformers were cool, but like the cartoon was way cooler than the toys. Yeah. And I think G.I. Joe, the cartoon and the toys were equally as cool. Me.
No, I would agree with you on that. Like I loved Masters of the Universe, but I think I loved the comic book that came with the figure.
Yeah.
Because it kind of like the imagination, like it kind of like back then comic books were enough for me. Like I didn't need, I didn't have the internet. I didn't have like reading a comic book, like I would read it over and over and over again, and it would transport me. So like the comic book in the Masters of the Universe figures, like I felt like I was there, and it was just like a bizarre alien world with like
I know.
Roboto and just
Yep.
crazy things happening. So I think the cartoon kind of like gave me a concrete vision or version of
Right.
the world,
Yep.
but it wasn't necessarily how I saw like Masters of the Universe. Like people
Right.
died. It was more like Conan than it was like, you know, the homogenized, you
I
know,
can see that.
cartoon, you know, like there was actually violence going on. You know, they have battle axes and maces and, you know, like spears and stuff. Like those weren't just props. Like those were getting used. But that was just my brain as a kid. Like that's how I envisioned it, you know, as a kid. So, you know, I was thirsting, I think, for more fantasy. And at the time, Masters was all that I had besides, you know, watching Conan the Barbarian, which blew me away as a kid.
And I think for me, I hadn't hit fantasy yet. Like I didn't get into fantasy until I was in my so after G.I. Joe, right? Like I'll go to you get older, you outgrow toys. I was into sports. I played baseball all through 5 years old to I want to say 16 or 17. Like I played touring ball. I was a pretty good baseball player. Like I played catcher, was really good baseball player. And then junior high school, I'm in home ec, and I had just got done playing basketball the week before at some guy's house. Didn't know the guy, but we all played hoops in his backyard. You had a hoop in his backyard, like man, you had a hoop and I was always down baseball, hoops, football. Like I was always a kid playing sport. Like I always wanted to play sport. Loved playing sports. Was super into it. And 12 years old, 11 or 12. We're at home ec. I see these dudes in a corner talking. They're rolling something, and they invite me over and big kid, right? Big kid, 6'4". We're not that. He grew up to be 6'4", but in junior high school he might have been 6, right?
Big boy,
big huge kid, right? Invites me over. Hey, you want to play? Hey, you play basketball at my house? Or you want to play D&D with us? And I'm like, D&D? Like what? What the f is that, right? Like they're like, oh, it's Dungeons and Dragons. Like, oh, okay, what's that? Had no idea. Right? No clue, right? And explained it. He's like, oh, you just, you think about what's happening. And they kind of just walked me through it. And we were supposed to be sewing sweaters or something like that. This is home ec back in the 90s, right? We're supposed to be doing something. Teachers aren't paying attention.
Being crafty.
And like we're talking and like we're pretending to sew, but we're playing and like I don't know what it was, man. Like that moment was the end of sports for like it was beginning of the end of sports. I did it for a few more years, but it was really the beginning of the end. And that moment turned into a lifelong friendship that lasted up until a few weeks ago when he passed. 35 years,
man.
And 35 years of not friends, like we lost touch. Like we both moved out of Schenectady when we were in our 20s. I moved to California, he moved to Chicago. Talk 4 or 5 times on the phone every week. Type of friendship, right? And that D&D, that getting into D&D, like we, became friends with other D&D players and played at people's houses, and that is how I ended up with where I'm sitting right now. And
that was a defining moment for you.
That was it. D&D is it for me. That was fantasy. Then that group of people that he introduced me to, that we became friends with through D&D, that other kids that played, right, gave me a Dragonlance book to read, right? And at 13, I think I had read Lord of the Rings or tried to. It's I was a really advanced reader. Read a lot of college grade books, and in my listen, I love Tolkien in the world he created. And books are a little boring in a pacing standpoint.
They could be a little boring. Yeah, my mom made me read The Hobbit. Like I had to go to my room and read The Hobbit. And so I did. But
listen, world building, Tolkien is a god.
Yes.
He's an absolute from heaven, gifted him the power to build a world, right?
Yes.
Pacing, for back then it was cool. They gave me, and I don't think the Dragonlance books get enough credit for their contribution. If you look at fantasy pre-Dragonlance, Dungeons and Dragons didn't have a lot of dragons.
Right.
Margaret Weiss and Tracy Hickman brought dragons into D&D in a real way, besides in just the brand name.
Yeah.
And the world they built, the heroes they created for a whole generation of people. And if you look at fantasy pre-Dragonlance and after Dragonlance, they changed it.
Right.
They
Yeah,
created what we consider epic fantasy.
Yeah, I remember as a kid, I had always loved fantasy. My dad would take me to see, Conan the Barbarian and Sword and Sorcerer and just any kind of sword, fantasy movie, Red Sonja, just anything, whether it's good or bad, he didn't care. We would go see it. But I grew up on fantasy, and I remember I would always make the trek out to Walden Books in California. And I would see what they had, and I just loved scrolling through the fantasy. And I remember seeing Dragonlance because it was like book, and I would look at the covers. And so I never read one, but I remember looking at the covers because I was Elric Melnibone was like my guy, and so I was so into those books. But I always loved looking at the covers of Dragonlance and thinking how cool they were.
And those covers were done by the great Larry Elmore.
Yeah.
Like he could draw a dragon like nobody else, right? Like
amazing.
And those books, for anyone that's not read them, everyone should go read them.
Go read them. Stop now.
If you look at what happened afterwards, it really changed. To me, if you look at it, I was watching a documentary on it. It changed fantasy. They changed it. Those books were supposed to launch a D&D world and campaign. The D&D world didn't do well. The TSR couldn't sell those campaign books. No. Because it didn't feel like you were playing, like the books were so much better than the game actually was. They were New York Times bestsellers.
Yeah.
They were a real moment.
They were huge.
They were a moment. They were a moment in fantasy that sometimes people forget because the game didn't live up to it. But the books themselves, the characters were so rich. The story got everything you could want in a story. It's the first, I don't know about the first, but it's one of the few I remember. It's since Lord of the Rings, right? It was an ensemble cast,
right?
But everyone got their shine. And so when you think of a modern wizard in D&D, you're not thinking of Gandalf, who's like an angel. You're thinking of Fizban from Dragonlance. That's who you're thinking about.
And I know that name. I've never read the books, but I know his name. I've heard him.
Yeah, and that's it, right? People don't realize like how much they influence. When you think of the four-legged dragon, that's Larry Elmore's artwork.
Right.
That's what you're seeing. You're seeing Larry.
I can still see it too.
I can see it, right? And
yeah, for sure.
When you think of like the barbarian plainsmen, you're thinking of Riverwind. Half-elves. So half-elves were Elrond, right? Elrond, like not raised as a traditional elf, but he looks like an elf.
Right.
Tanis with the red beard and the pointy ears where he's trying to hide his ears, but he looks human, but he looks elven. When we think half-elf, that's exactly what we think. We think about Tanis, right? That's how much they contributed. And so for me, for a teenager, like I was done. I was cooked.
That fed you.
I was a nerd. After that, like I had nerd tendencies, but I played so much sports. After that, it was over.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it. I'm a nerd. We're good.
I accept it.
I'm gonna be in real nerdy stuff. Yes. I love, and for me, that love of fantasy has overtaken G.I. Joe. Anything else, it always comes back to D&D, and it probably has to do with that relationship that was a bedrock of my entire life.
Right. So did you guys hang out more? Did you go to his house and you guys go play? Like,
oh yeah, we were best friends. Like when we lived in the same city, like we were family. Like his mom, but so not to shock modern audiences, but if I did something wrong, his mom would crack me in the back of my head. She had full permission from my parents.
Right, absolutely.
Right, like that's just how it worked. Why are you being stupid?
It made you a better man.
Brought me, like they're such a good family of people, and even to this day, his sister and we call each other brother and sister. I just saw her a few weeks ago, and she was introducing us to their family from Georgia. Like they have a huge family, right? And she's like, "These are my brothers. Like this is my brother Kris, my other brother Greg. We're her little brothers." And that relationship outside of my wife is a relationship that has defined my entire life. So I think for me, Mythic, like moving forward, like fast forwarding many, many years, right? Like to discovering Mythics in 2019, it's like an old friend.
Right.
That's what it felt like when I got my first Mythic Legion. Besides the sculpting, blew me away.
Yeah.
Like I was collecting Marvel Legends, I think, like most people. And I'm like, where are these expensive ass fantasy toys, man? Like this is pre like I remember it very vividly. I was in Hawaii for work because I go there once a quarter for work. It's part of my job. Sorry, everybody.
I want that job.
And it's a cool job. Cool job. Cool job if you can get it. So I'm in Hawaii and I'm in a hotel room and I'm like, I got some extra bread. And I'm like, a guy, I think his name's Patrick Dix, was in the cabal. It's, apparently for like the third time, he was mad and sold his collection. And I've been browsing, looking at
what's getting him mad that he would do that?
I don't remember. He was just mad about something. It's what I heard.
We're angry.
I heard it was probably a collector thing, right? You got collectors get upset and they switched up and
yes.
So like
you reap the benefits.
Yeah. So someone told me, they're like, oh, this is like the second time he sold his whole collection. I'm like, oh damn, that's crazy. I had just joined the cabal. It was like, I think it was like 500 people, maybe 1,000. And I'm like, oh, this place is kind of cool. I'm not in any of their Facebook groups. I'm not like in the Marvel Legends groups or anything. I'm like, oh, this place is neat. Everybody seems really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go and I'm like, I buy a whole group of dwarves and Hera Serpent Spider. Was my first purchase.
Ooh, nice.
And these things get sent to me, and good deal. Got them on a good deal, like a lot of Bromdens, varying degrees of completion. And I did a little research about the swappability. I'm like, ooh, I like that. That might be cool because I was customizing Marvel Legends already. I was already pocket swapping, customizing, painting Marvel Legends, making vehicles. I was already doing all of that with Marvel Legends, but it's a lot harder, as any customizer knows.
Yes.
Sometimes Marvel Legends is a pain in the butt. Colored plastic and all this other stuff, right? So box shows up, and boom, first figure I open, Jordan. And second figure,
great first figure.
And it opened like they were wrapped in bubble wrap. This is the first two I picked out of the box.
Wow.
Is Jordan and Hera. And I'm like, I can still feel it. Like there's goosebumps on my skin from just opening those two figures and being like, I'm home. Like, this is what I want to do. This is my next great hobby. I've been into a lot of hobbies. And when I do a hobby, I go, I'm in. Like, I'm all in. I don't know how to do anything half-assed like that.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, I'm in. This is my thing now. I'm a Mythic Legions collector. And then, the next 2 months, the world shuts down and Mythic Legions are like $1 million and there's no supply. And I think they had the Exodus in-stock sale. Mm-hmm. So I was buying Chronos and Purplors for like 30, whatever they were back then. And I bought so many Chronos. And I had bought more of that dude's collection. Matter of fact, the goblins sitting behind me are still like the OG pretty much goblins I bought from him.
Yeah.
Pretty much those. I haven't expanded those that much. I'm more of a dwarf first and orc person versus dwarf first goblins. I'll accept the goblins, but I'm more into orcs. But like that felt like D&D. And what Eric and the guys created felt like D&D. Yes. It felt like a physical manifestation of every campaign I ever played with my best friend and our group of friends. And it just felt so real in my hands. And I was like, man, I want to do this.
Yeah.
I want to make customs.
I think Eric is the right age.
I rambled really long too.
No, you're fine. No, I want you to ramble. But yeah, no, I think Eric is the right age for us. Like, he kind of ran the same, and experienced a lot of the stuff that we did. And he's translating that into these toys that really speak to us. Yeah. And whether it's orcs, whether it's elves, whether it's goblins, whether it's whatever, there's something there. For everybody. Yes.
And it like I said, it felt like home. That's the best way I could describe it. Yeah. I was like, oh man, I've been collecting action figures. I got back into it because I was bored, because we moved from California, where I had a whole group of friends, to Washington, where I had no friends. Mm-hmm. And you get older, making friends is not. First of all, I don't make a lot of friends. I make friends, but like, I got like 3 dudes I'll take a bullet for, right? Right. Those are my real friends, right? Yeah. I don't make those relationships. Probably actually 4 now. I take a bullet for House. Like, I don't make those relationships easy, right? And so I didn't do that up here. I just was like, okay, we're in Washington now. We're gonna live. We're gonna whatever. And then, we did I was doing the Mythics. We were in an apartment. We bought a farm. The Mythics got packed away while we moved. They ain't come out for a while. Yeah. And one day I was like, man, like, what happened? Right. Then I started collecting G.I. Joe again. And even collecting GI Joe, which I had told you before, I love GI Joe.
Mm-hmm.
That emotional connection to GI Joe,
Yes,
it never made me feel. And Classified is great. I wanted
it's a
early
great game. Great
Classified.
line.
Early Classified was not the first wave, but after Cobra Island forward,
Yeah.
bangers.
Yes.
They were, Hasbro was in their bag.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't make me feel the same way it did doing something with the Mythic Legion, making a custom, creating a backstory, basically playing D&D without playing D&D.
Right.
And so
for you, it's a Dungeons and Dragons thing again. It's like you feel like you're a kid and you're reliving.
Yep. Feel like I'm an early teenager. You know, I got my best friend riding with me, and we're just making up characters and we're playing and we're having a good time, right? And we're writing a backstory. And, you know, him and I over the years, we went from players to dungeon masters, right? We do it differently. He's over prepares. I do have off the cuff, but we both do voices. We both make sure our players are engaged. We want it to be boisterous. Obviously, everyone can tell I'm a very calm person, right? I don't have not a lot of bass in my voice, but you know, like I love the histrionics of it. And you know, we played in each other's games, and you know, that started at 13. We played our last D&D game about a year ago. We stopped playing. We were just at stop because D&D groups, that's what happens, right? You play for a while and it stops. So from 13 to 45, 46.
Wow.
We were always a game every year, maybe every couple of years. We'd be like, oh, we got to play. Let's do it digitally. And, you know, but from age 13 to 25, when I moved to California, we were playing in person. We had a game going on. There was a campaign going on all the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't the same campaign because Lord knows we'd start again.
Right.
Start. It's funny. His kids, he's, you know, gaming for his kids. And during his eulogy, tell his kids, I'm like, well, you know, one thing your dad, you know, he wanted it to be upbeat. And I was like, well, you know, welcome to the club of people that are never going to get to finish a game. Because that's what he always did, right? He always stopped games. And even more now, I got back from 3 weeks off, going to the funeral and, you know, hanging out with some buddies and, you know, just all doing the healing. And for like a couple days, 3 days, I was like, do I still want to do this? Is this still something I'm passionate about? And, you know, I sat back down. I picked up a Skeleton Builder, which is like my second favorite figure of all time.
It's a blast. It's a blast.
Absolute top tier figure. And, you know, I was when I left, I was in the middle of, I had just finished the first 2 towers for LEGIONSCON. I just finished. I sent them out to Nate Strong, and I'll tell that story in a minute. But I sent them to Nate Strong, sent one to Dan Tobin, because Dan was like, I want to buy one.
Both
like,
great dudes.
I'll give you a discount. You can be an early tester, see if I'm stupid, see if I did something stupid or, you know, am I crazy, right? And I left the project. Like, literally, there were prints on the printer because I left so quickly from here to Chicago. And I got back, and I'm like, do I still want to do this? And picked up a couple figures, picked up a custom that I was going to send to him. And I was like, yeah, I still want to do this. Because for me, this is still a connection.
Right.
And I don't want to lose.
Yes.
The thing.
I mean, he's part of
it. It is. It always will be.
He's part
of the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to lose that connection. So I think for me, I might be more passionate than before.
Yeah.
About creating and doing stuff like that. So that's kind of my backstory, like, you know, and then we are sitting, you know, doing this interview with you. I'm not gonna lie to you. Done a lot of Mythic media. I was nervous today.
Why, bro?
I don't know, man. Like, listen, I speak in public a lot. I do stuff like this for work, and I don't know, man. Like, it was good nervous, but I'm like, ooh, I don't want to flub Greg's. Like, I watch some of your stuff. I'm like, man, I don't know, man. He gets these guys talking, and everybody's such a good guest.
I try. I want it to be a comfortable conversation.
Yeah.
You know, just off the cuff, organic. You know, I have a hard time with people that are like studio. Like Jeremy, I was probably the most nervous because I had literally a stack of questions that I had just been working on. And I'm like, you know, I want to ask him this. I want to make sure it flows. And I was just so nervous, dude. And
it doesn't come across. I mean, it doesn't come across on the video.
Thank you. But I want it to be fun. Like, I want to look forward to these conversations. So, like, I love talking to my friends. You know, like it's fun, you know, because we're talking toys, we're talking things that are interesting to
and
us.
things that bring us like tons of joy. Like Halcyon and I must talk. We got to do 4, 5, 6 hours a week. It's got to be me and Giovanni Blyden, same thing.
Yeah,
it's like 3 days a week at least. We're on the phone talking about Mythic Legions, like, you know, what's going on. And, you know, it's like you find your people, you find your, you know, your tribe.
right.
And, you know, I got to give Anthony a lot of credit. He folded me into the community in a way that I didn't think I was going to fold it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Because when I first got in the community, it was cool. Had some, you know, some things happen, like some little stuff, new guy shit. I was being like a new guy knucklehead.
New guy
I call
shit.
it new guy knucklehead stuff.
Yes.
Right. New guy knucklehead stuff.
Absolutely.
You know, and some other things didn't know how the game worked. You know, I think some things I was, you know, critical about that I think I was correct, but maybe approached it poorly, right?
Mm.
And fun fact, Ant and I started out as not liking each other.
I've got friends like that. I'm like, I could not stand that mother effer.
Dude, we didn't know each other.
And now we're great, you know?
Yeah, we were on opposite sides of an argument that was going on in the cabal, early cabal, like, or I would say early, but like, not early, like my wife's going to kill me early, but like second generation cabal.
Right.
Like I call us, I'm like Gen X cabal, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, you know, we were on opposite sides of it. And, you know, I was like, you know what? I'm going to reach out to this dude because I feel like if we talk it out, I can explain my position. He can explain his, and it'll be fun.
Right.
We did that. We talked it out. We got our piece said, and we kind of saw each other's point.
Mm-hmm.
And ever since that moment, like, he has become one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Him and Giovanni are my two.
Yeah.
And then Tobin's my guy. Like, I got a lot of friends. Like, I got Maynard, Tobin.
Right.
Like, those two. Like, and Giovanni and I didn't start as friends. We started as friends in G.I. Joe's.
Mm, wow.
Yeah, we were G.I. Joe customizers. He invited me, and we were talking about G.I. Joe. And I can't remember who brought up Mythic Legions. Like, I do that. I'm like, what?
Mm.
You do Mythics? And then we dropped G.I. Joe like a bad habit. That was the wrap. We were like, oh, we're going to go do Mythic Legions customs. And, you know, so.
Yeah, I love that there's such a community.
Yeah.
That's, you know, wrapped around the toy line. Like, they're inseparable, you know.
They are. And even with the changes and the evolution and the group growing, it was such the best place to go do toy stuff on the internet. Mm-hmm. Even when it comes down a little bit, it's still the best place to go do toy stuff on. The gap was so big.
Yes.
And then the other places I was in didn't get better. So I'm like, if Legions comes back to the pack a little bit because we've grown, it's still pretty much the best place to go do toys.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, you know, so, and other groups, there are other groups, you know, in that indie toy line. You know, there's a lot of other groups that are, you know, definitely got that spirit in them in their own way of doing it right. You know, but still, I still think pound for pound, you know, it's still the most fun place, most helpful place for sure.
Yes, for sure. I was in Mez Coalition, and Noah Pratt was there, and Bill Dranowski.
Yeah.
And so that's how I knew those guys. And so when I saw them here, I'm like, bros, you know, I was like, this is awesome. But Mez Coalition was small, and so we kind of knew each other a little bit.
Right.
You know, like I like that, being able to know like first name basis with people. Like, oh, there's, you know, there's Kris, or there's Noah, or there's, you know, like, hey, Curtis, hey, Anthony, you know, like we all kind of know each other. And I like that in this community, that the core group, the people that interact, the people that go to shows, or the people that all meet up at LEGIONSCON, we all kind of know each other a little bit. We know each other by first name or last name in my case, or whatever. But I love that, like that friendly kind of welcoming, you know, no one's better than anyone else. There's not really any elitism kind of thing. It's like you get what you put into it. If you want to be part of this community and you want to, you know, be friends with people, you can. Like, it's accepting. We're not going to be, nope. You know, when did you start collecting? You know, there's none of that. You know, it's I mean, there might be a little bit.
I don't know if there's
might be a little bit of that. But
I will say this: as the Gen Xers have taken over the cabal, there's a lot less I've been in since the Kickstarter stuff going on, and that was when I first came in. There was a lot of that, and
Oh yeah.
listen. There's always going to be a guard that's changing, right?
Yes.
I've
Old
been looking.
dogs.
So last few weeks, I've just been, kind of chilling, doing what I do, and I haven't done a custom in so long, right? And it felt
Are you doing that?
no, my iPad's doing it because I'm
I was
moving
gonna say,
now.
you have a cameraman? What's going on here, bro?
I've been trying to be really good about this, about not moving. So, because I know it'll do it. Sorry. So
no, it's okay.
I like the last few weeks, month, because I'm like, man, a lot of the old customizers, like Giovanni doesn't make stuff as much anymore. I don't make stuff. House still makes some stuff, but not to the amount he was making. And like, damn, what's going on? Like it's kind of dropping. And then there's a whole new group,
right?
That is just blowing. I'm seeing stuff everywhere. I don't even know the names of them yet. I'm just like, man, who the hell is this? Holy crap!
Yeah,
this is nuts. And like, that's what I love about the group is like the ebb and the flow. I feel like the next group that comes in kind of is better overall than the group that they're replacing.
Well, they've got more toys. They've got a bigger toolbox.
And they got new ideas. And it's fresh.
New ideas. Yeah.
And it's fresh. So,
Brian C's making these sea crabs and stuff. Like, what is crustacean care? I'm like, what is going on here? Insane.
And the Mythic Legion 3D printing community, outside of the G.I. Joe 3D printing community, I think those are the two best by far for toy lines.
Yeah.
And the Joe ones, it's kind of got an advantage because a lot of it's reprinting old toys, right? The Mythic Legion, I wish it would stop doing that. The Mythic Legion 3D printing community is, God, your viewers are going to hate me.
Your iPad knows what's your best angle.
Right. There's no good one. That's why it's moving.
Like, I don't know which way to.
It can't figure it out. Anyways, so, like that community, like the third party community in here is pretty special. And every time we lose a pillar, someone steps up.
Yeah.
To fill the role, right? Planetary Dogs is winding down. My action figure custom is gone. Well, Wolf King steps in and fills the void of two other large companies, large in respect to what they were doing, right?
Yes.
And then you've got, all the file creators that 5 years ago when I started did not exist. That was not a thing, right? You've got Rogue Printing Machine, Kevin Olson, just way outside the box all the time. Love that he doesn't exist in a box, and then from him, a bunch of creators got their start. Maui got his start for his Patreon, and his stuff is just absolutely stunning, right? Diego stuff is, Maui is just incredible, right?
Yeah.
I love that. There's a whole generation coming up, right? And they're always knocking on the door. And we're always getting new creations, new stuff. It feels so robust and fun to be part of.
And fresh. Like
fresh.
New stuff. Like,
Yep. LegionsCon every year. And then you got Borderland Horde, who might lead the league in volume. Like they God love those dudes. Like, that crew, that's like, I don't know why that feel like it's like a group of construction workers that turned into 3D printers. I don't know why I feel that vibe from them. Mark White's probably be like, what are you talking about? I don't know why. I feel like they're just a bunch of dudes that were drinking one night and they were like, we're going to do some 3D printing.
Yeah, let's make some
cool shit. Let's make some cool shit. We're going to be the best
turtles with cannons and
dude, little pets for you. Like we're just going to do some dope stuff and then like throw back some booze, right? I don't know why that's the vibe I get. This thing is killing me.
Dude, it's I feel like I'm watching The Office or something, how the camera is always like moving around.
And I can't make it stop. So
I thought it was your wife or something, dude. I thought you had your wife like holding your phone.
She's sitting at I'm in front of my iPad. It's because it's an iPad. If I was on my phone, it wouldn't be doing that. The iPad does some auto stuff. My wife's house sitting her sister's house for her sister's pets. So she actually came home to pick some yarn up because she does crochet, and she texted me. She was like, "I hope you do well. Stop and picked up crochet. I'll see you tomorrow when I get home." I was like, because her sister lives around like a mile from here. So, anyways,
so as long as you've been interested or into Mythics, you've had some kind of seed of like, I want to like GI Joes. I want to pop and swap. I want to change
Yep.
things. I want to customize.
I want to paint. I want to custom. I want to make
So
a
how
custom.
did that start manifesting with Mythics?
I mean, the day I got them in the mail, except Jordan. Jordan has never been taken apart for.
Don't do it, man.
Can't do it. It doesn't match anything, so neither is Hera. But like, I picked up some. There were some Cavern dwarfs in there.
Yeah.
Some Bromden dwarfs, and I'm like, immediately I saw online you could pull these things apart. No heat, by the way. Kids, heat your toys. Do not heat your toys.
Heat your toys.
But
unless you live in Florida or Central California, then
it was all 1.0 stuff. It was all 1.0 safe, so marked safe from meeting heat. But I started ripping the arms off, and I'm like, I took a figure apart, and I'm like, oh, this is amazing.
It's a whole new world.
Oh my God. I was like, I'm going to go so crazy with doing this. Like, this is going to be amazing. And I'm like, all right, let's whip some paint out, paint some stuff, bought some model paint, painted. I was on IG the other day looking at my first few paint jobs. Oh my God, they were awful. I was so bad at painting.
That's how you get good, though.
It is. And I dyed some figures out the bat. Like, no, I didn't see anyone. I'm like, man, has anyone ever stripped the paint off these things? Let me see what I can do. So I stripped the paint off. I didn't know Mythic Legions were white underneath.
What?
So they don't use colored plastic. It's all white plastic.
Get the
elite way, except for Calazir. Calazir, when I stripped him, his paint did not come off. But outside of Calazir, if you take a Mythic Legion and take some mineral spirits, acetone kind of sucks. Mineral spirits will definitely work. And you could rub the paint off. It's white underneath, which is super cool for dyeing.
All white.
All white. I think I've had some gray now and again, mainly white. So this is the thing people don't realize. When they say quality, they're painting these things from white, not from colored plastic.
I did not know that.
Yep. Fun way to find out. If you pop the torso apart, usually you can look underneath it, and the paint's not fully done, and you'll see the white underneath it in the torso.
My mind's blown. We got to take a break here, guys, and let me recover from the. What about the test shots? Are the test shots?
I've never stripped the paint off a test shot. I'm not doing that. Okay, now you're talking crazy talk.
Let's do one now. Go grab your test shot.
I just got a Cavern Dwarf in the mail today.
Mine's in the mail. I got one too. I got a Valiant Knight from a friend.
Very sick.
I was just like, oh.
Yeah, I'm gonna make I want to make a stone structure for it to stand on and act like a statue. I'm gonna 3D print something for it. It'll be cool.
Yeah, like a statue.
I woke up late for that sale too.
They're so cool.
I got some cosmic ones and I sold them because I'm not. Don't hear me bring up cosmic a lot. I'm not into cosmic. I tried. It's not my deal.
Me too, bro.
Not my deal. I'm Mythics.
I jumped in head first and then I sold them.
Me too. I got so much wave one sitting on the bottom shelf.
Yeah, I felt bad. I'm like, I feel like I'm betraying Four Horsemen.
I did feel kind of bad.
Yeah.
I felt like I'm like.
I mean, some of them are cool. Like
they look amazing. I'm just not into sci-fi like that. Where I like sci-fi. I watch Star Trek. I watch Star Wars.
Yeah, me too.
It's only sci-fi toys.
The new ones are getting. They're bridging gaps. I think they're getting more interesting for me.
I buy the stuff that I think I can convert to Mythic. So like with Ox Crew, I got the lizard dude.
Yes.
The Unga Bunga orange dude. I got the girl because she got the boots that I didn't know was coming out with Marley when I ordered her.
Yes.
FO. I do love the FO line.
Me too.
I have zero. I have zero figure obscuras on display, but I buy them in large lots